So in a previous video, I had shown the installation and setup of a product from PhD Virtual, their virtual backup appliance. And I also had another video which ran through the backup and recovery process of that solution. In this video, I want to demonstrate the replication feature and the export feature of the product. So I have two environments set up here, and the original environment, which has the VBA configured and which was doing the initial backup. So this environment is here, and in this environment you can see we have this one VBA called Lab Replication 01, which is configured to handle the replication of the primary site. So this VBA is configured no different from the VBA in the other videos. Once you have the replication destination VBA set up, if we go into the primary location, what we're going to have to do here is configure it for replication. And we can go into the PhD Virtual Backup Console, and if we go into configuration and then replication, actually the connectors, this is where at the source where you're actually doing the backups, where you'll need to enable the share for VM replication or export. We'll go ahead and select that, and we'll put in a password for the PhD account here, and we'll go ahead and save this. So once this is saved, next we'll just need to go to the destination. So at the destination, the Lab Replication 01, we need to configure the source. So here we're going to add the virtual appliance of the original or the source backup appliance, and we'll just go ahead and give this a name. We'll put in the IP address of the name of the source backup appliance, and DD. So this is the default. If we go into the settings here, you can see that the default URL is shown here. There, and then the username and password. So we got the username, password, the share path, the type we're going to leave as CIFS, and we have given it a name. We can go ahead and click OK. Now it's added in. We'll click Save. So the configuration saved. Here we can see it has a green check mark, so that looks fine. If we go into the replication tab, we can see that the information from the source shows up in the list. If it doesn't show in that list, you can click the refresh, and the information should from the backups of the source backup appliance should show up in this list. At this point, we can go ahead and select any of the VMs, any or all of the virtual machines we want to have replicated. So I'm going to go ahead and select these two to replicate, and go ahead and click replicate. We're going to append the underscore replica on the name of the virtual machine when it is created at the destination location. We'll go ahead and choose a data store which has adequate amount of space to replicate to, and we'll go ahead and configure the default network for the virtual machines. Go ahead and select next, and we can see that we get the the schedule dialog in here where we can uh, schedule this for daily or weekly or on demand. We're going to go ahead and select daily, and we can also select the virtual disk from the VM settings area. So if there was a particular disk configured on a virtual machine that you did not want to replicate, we could deselect it from here. We're going to leave everything selected and click submit. So this is going to create the job. We're going to go ahead and start this job right now so we can get the replication going. And just like with the backups, we can get information down in the lower half of the backup console, and eventually once it gets going we'll get a progress bar showing here. Okay, so the replication job has finished, and if we go here into the history, you can see that the replication finished successfully. What has happened is, if we go to the destination virtual center, the PhD virtual backup replication process creates the virtual machine in the destination environment, and we told it to put the underscore replica here, and so we can see that these are the virtual machines that were created for the replication. So being that the job is done, we can go into the replication area here and look and replicate it. If nothing shows up here, of course, we can click refresh to make the information appear. But we can see that there's two virtual machines that have been replicated. And if we want to do a test, what we can do is start a test. Then you'll get this pop-up about duplicate MAC addresses and having the source and this replicated virtual machine powering on the same network and it being routable. So make sure you take provisions to not have duplicate MAC addresses and IPs, etc. on the network when you're doing your test. Then click yes. So when we click the start test, the process is what it's going to do is take a snapshot of the virtual machine. And we can see here that a snapshot was created, and it's going to start the virtual machine, and we can use the virtual machine here to run any test just to validate that the virtual machine works and is consistent, etc. Change here and go to the summary. This is standard because we replicated the virtual machine, or if you move a virtual machine, you'll get this message. We'll go ahead and click OK here. Okay, so we can see the machine started up. Let's go ahead and log into it. And the machine is up and running. And that's basically it. So as we can see, the virtual machine started up. We can do any tests here, make sure any applications are running within the virtual machine, start any services if we need to. But that's the basic process for doing the replication and testing the replicated virtual machine. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down here. So, and once that virtual machine is powered off, we can go ahead and say stop the test. So if we go back to the virtual machine and we look in the snapshot manager, you can see that there's only one snapshot now. It deleted the other one that was being used to protect any changes that would have happened to the virtual machine while we were doing our test. So we'll go ahead and close here.